Hi everyone, welcome to the day 10 of our 24-day series of Microsoft Fabric. Today we are going to practice a very important activity in the data pipeline Fabric data pipeline, which is called the Invoke pipeline activity. I think most of you are aware of that activity. So we can invoke any child pipeline in our main pipeline, so that if we create a schedule trigger on our main pipeline, it will automatically run the connective child pipeline. So for that, what we are going to do is we have a CSV file name as Netflix series description. I think similar name. So we will load that first in our Lakehouse. So here in our bronze layer, in our raw Lakehouse, we will upload that file. So let's upload. It's loaded successfully here. Yeah, here we have the file loaded. So first, what we will do, basically, we will create a pipeline first, the child pipeline, where we will read this file in the notebook, and then we will load this file as a table in our Lakehouse tables. Okay, we can do it from here itself by just clicking on the three dots and converting it to the table. But because I have to show you how the invoke pipeline activity is working. So for that, let's do it like this. Then our next step will be we will create a main pipeline, and in our main pipeline we will add our invoke pipeline activity and we'll select our child pipeline there, and then we will connect that invoke pipeline activity to another activity which will be maybe notebook or script, and we will be uploading, like we will be loading the data from the Lakehouse table to our warehouse table, the same data. Okay, with incremental logic, we can create incremental logic there. Okay, so let's start. So first of all, so here we have loaded the CSV file. So the CSV file name is Netflix underscore titles dot CSV. Let me just copy the file path. Yeah, I have copied the file path. I'll go to the bronze layer. Here first I'll go to the notebook, and first of all I will create a notebook which will load file to note Lakehouse table. So I'll create a new notebook as I'll name it as load file to LH table Netflix. Okay. Here our notebook is created. In the left pane in the Explorer, I will add our data source. So our data source is our existing data source, which is our raw lakehouse. Okay. Yeah. So now let's write a code here. The Python PySpark code. So first of all, I will write from PySpark.sql, and dot functions import star. Okay. And so what I want to do is, basically here every time whenever we will, so here I need to start the Spark connection as well. So I will write from PySpark.sql import Spark session. Okay. I'll run this. So here you can see our Spark session is started. Now let's first read our table. So I will read it in our data frame. So it will be spark.read.csv, and our file path is this. I'll keep it in on the quotes. Then comma, we have to keep the header as true. So comma header equals to true. Also inform schema is also we want it as a true. So you know what is inform schema? So inform schema is like it will take the uh, correct data type from the column, not it will take it as a text. So let's just first see the data. So df dot so I'll do. I want only top 5 records. Okay. Instead of so, let's do display the data frame. So display, I'll write df. So it will display it as a, yeah. So here you can see we have our data. Okay. Okay. Fine. Now I'll load it to the table, to a Lakehouse table. So what I will do, load to table. Then I'll write df dot write. Then mode will be override. And I can do save as table. And table name, what I want to keep it as. So let's keep it as this Netflix title. So Netflix Netflix series description. Okay, let's run this. So it ran successfully. It means this pipeline, this notebook is running fine. So let's save. I think it is saved automatically. So now again I will go to my bronze layer in the raw pipelines. Here I will create a new pipeline. I'll name it as, so I can name it as child underscore pl underscore uh, files to table tbl. Okay, I will name it as child underscore pl underscore files to tbl. Okay. Okay, so we will take a notebook activity here. I'll name it as notebook underscore child not child. So load file to TBL. In the setting, I have to select this particular notebook here. Here we have selected. So I will just validate the pipeline. I'll save it, and now I will just keep it like this only. Okay. So basically, because I ran the notebook file first, so I ran the notebook code first. So I think we can see that table will be created here. So again, I will delete this table so that just a second. Let me just refresh this tables. So here you can see Netflix series description table has been created. But what I will do, I will delete this table so that I can show you in invoke pipeline activity if we are assigning this pipeline. So whether it is working properly or not. Okay. So let me just delete this table for you. Now, before creating the main pipeline, let's go to our warehouse and let's first create our table structure. So the target table structure which we want to load this data. Okay. So I came to my warehouse. Here I'll create a new table in the DBO schema. So I'll click on a new SQL query. It's fine. Just a second, I need to check one thing. So is it there timestamp or not? So I think we don't have timestamp. Okay, fine. So this is the table which we want to where we will be loading our Lakehouse table to this warehouse table. So I'll create this table structure. Okay, it executed. So I think we can see our table structure in our DBO schema. So warehouse Netflix titles table we have the structure is there. Now again I will go to my gold layer only, and here in the pipeline mart, let's create a pipeline and we will name it as main Netflix pipeline. Okay. Okay. So first of all, what I will add here, the activity will be invoke pipeline activity. So I'll name, so this activity is which we discussed right now. So what it will do, it will first run the child pipeline. With this activity, we can first run the child pipeline inside our main pipeline, and then we can run our other activity in our current pipeline. So I'll name it as child pipeline invoke. Okay. In the setting, you can see we have to select our pipeline, and also we can select from ADF pipeline or Azure Synapse pipeline as well. So let me just select my child PL files to table. Okay. And this is how I have assigned it with my child pipeline. Now here I'll add. So we should use script activity, and yeah, instead of notebook. Just because notebook doesn't allow to read tables from the warehouse, it can only read tables from the lakehouse. So here we are using the merge statement, and we are merging the. So okay, I think I need to write one more change here. So r raw underscore, oh sorry, lh underscore raw I should write here. Lh underscore raw dot dbo dot table. Sorry, this is the warehouse. So sorry, wh gold we should write. So it will be wh underscore gold dot dbo dot warehouse. I'll click OK and I have to run this. Was running. Just a second. Yeah, now I will run this again. So that's why the notebook got failed. And instead of notebook, we can use script activity where we can create our connection with the warehouse and we can select our warehouse and we can use script activity from the lakehouse table to the warehouse table. Okay. So it's running. Here we can see this pipeline ran successfully. So let's see the data in our warehouse table. So we can just query the data or else we can just refresh this and see the data. Here we can see our data is loaded successfully. So let me explain you again what we did from the start. So here our file was in our Lakehouse files. So this is our file. So with the help of notebook, first we have loaded this file in our uh, so we are writing code to load the file to as a table in our Lakehouse itself. Then we are assigning that notebook in our child pipeline. And again, we are creating in warehouse the table structure we are creating. So this is our table structure which we are creating in the warehouse. Okay. And then in the main pipeline, we are adding the invoke pipeline activity from the activities. And there we are assigning this child pipeline by adding the connection and the workspace and the pipeline name. And then we are making like marking this with on success to the script activity. And why we are using script activity, as I explained you, because in notebook we can't read the warehouse tables. So because of that only we are using the script activity. So inside the script activity we are using the merge statement. And for the first run it loaded all the data to the warehouse table. But after this, for every run, it will check the new SO ID and then only it will add the insert the latest like not match data, and we are loading it from the Lakehouse table directly. So it means our Invoke pipeline activity is working very well and we are able to run another pipeline using this Invoke pipeline activity. So uh, I will end my today's session, and this is the complete end-to-end solution to use the Invoke pipeline activity and with the current working example. So I will add these steps in my GitHub, and the data sets also in the GitHub so that you can take reference and you can create and practice your own main and child orchestration pipeline. So that's all for today. Thank you. Bye bye.